What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back. Today's video is about Apple Watches. Now, Apple Watches are really awesome. When they first came out, they can be a lot useful. They're great for notifications. They kind of have that stylistic aspect where, you kind of look a little bit more posh than maybe the person next to you. And there's a load of options. There's a load of bands. You can get the Milanese loop. You can get the silver one. You can get the super shiny one, the gold one, the really gold one. Do you guys remember that one? That was interesting. That was like, what was it, like $10,000? I don't remember. Whatever happened to that? How hard did that depreciate? I might look that up later. But anyhow, they're cool. They're interesting. They're fun to use. But in the end, I got one and I used it for around a month, and I was like, this is the most useless Apple product I've ever bought in the history of time. I thought that was going to be the AirPods. No, AirPods ended up being the best thing I ever bought from Apple, period. The iPhones, great. MacBooks, amazing. iPads, a bit more on the useless side, but still pretty cool. But like the Apple Watch, I to this day just could not. I'm a power user, so I was actually using it for notifications. I was actually using Siri. And with that said, I've tried this particular Apple Watch, is of course the second generation one, but I've tried the newest one, I've tried the third generation one. Each time I always give it a chance. Like, I go swimming with it, I've taken it on workouts, and I would argue that if you are a very big like gym enthusiast, that is the only reason that you should genuinely go out and get an Apple Watch. Aside from that, these things are just so useless. So I'm not a big gym fanatic, and so I got this thing. I just thought I'd test some of the gym features, and they work pretty well. You go in there, you turn it on, and you can go on a swim, and it'll track everything, and it has this cool little waterproof mode where you swipe the digital crown and the water shoots out. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but it's cool. It has all these gym related features, and you can track your heart and everything. I really am out of shape. Every time I look at that, it makes me sad. But nonetheless, I look at that, and then now we have the EKG thing as well. So this could be much better for older people. So the Apple Watch has its niche. It's for health. Apple designed it for that, and it's for, I guess, notifications as well. And you might even get it for your elderly mother or father or something of those sorts, and it might even save their life. Like, news stories come out every day of people looking at their irregular heart rates, and it saves their life. So I'm not saying Apple Watches suck. I'm just saying it wasn't useful to me. I've tried all these other Apple products, and the Apple Watch was just there, like on my wrist, and I'll look at it every once in a while. I'm like, this is so unnecessary. The most I would do with it is maybe swipe the digital crown and it would raise the volume on my AirPods. I was like, cool, I guess. And every once in a while it'd look cool looking down at it as I got a Snapchat notification. I'm like, whoa, or a text. But would I actually use Siri, like stare at my watch and actually use Siri and genuinely reply to someone? No, they would get it. Siri would literally get it wrong. Siri's the worst. Like, Google now is amazing, but Siri, it always gets something wrong, and I don't know why. For some reason, Siri is better on the watch than it is on iPhones. Like, people have literally tested this out. For some reason it is, but even then, I would never do it. It looks weird. And then on top of that, Apple Pay. A lot of people say, oh, but you can tap your watch and everything. No, I'm not gonna do that. It looks really weird, obnoxious, and it's just no. Like, when you go and you just tap your watch on the cash register thing, I did it once. No, I did it a few times, but there was one time I got the weirdest look ever, and after that I was like, you're right. This is just too futuristic. This is too much. NFC is great. Apple Pay is amazing. Paying without having to take out my cards is great. But you know what? Just take my phone, which is already in my hand, and just put the fingerprint on Touch ID, and just like that, I can pay. That's just as easy. Do I really need a watch? No. In the end, the other tedious thing was the fact that Apple requires a password for you to even use Apple Pay. So in order to just jump into your Apple Watch, you need to have a password on it. That I don't like. I want to be able to just jump into a random application. That's the whole point of having the watch there. Why do I have to type in another password? But you can't use Apple Pay unless you have a password on your watch. It makes sense. It does. But at the same time, it just adds a step to that whole ecosystem and whatnot. There's a few cool features, where like your MacBook gets automatically unlocked if the Apple Watch is nearby. If you have it, and if you buy it, and if you actually genuinely use it, you should use it all the time. Like, it should just always be on your wrist. The people that do, the power users, the hardcore Apple fanatics and all that, they keep it in the shower, they wear it to sleep, and it tracks their sleep, and they wake up, and they go on a workout, and it tracks their workout. And then if you use it like that, I can see that this thing can really, really help people. But for me, like the average person who just kind of wants to look at a notification every once in a while, maybe play with a random app on their Apple Watch, you just try to use the Apple Watch, you try to jump into an application, and you're swiping and you're force touching, and you have to figure all this stuff out, and you're like, screw it, I'll just go on my phone. It's just so much easier 99.9% of the time. Now, again, going back to the whole workout world things, if you're that person, again, it makes sense if you have AirPods and an Apple Watch. There was this one time my phone did die and the Apple Watch was alive and the AirPods were alive, and I had some music synced directly on the watch, and I was able to just listen to music. So that's a cool use, I guess. But is it a daily use? Does it justify spending hundreds of dollars on this? instead of getting maybe a new iPhone, maybe getting yourself AirPods, maybe getting multiple pairs of AirPods for your significant other. I don't know, whoever. I don't know. I would rather go buy myself a drone than an Apple Watch. But the upside now is you can get yourself a really much older Apple Watch for much cheap, and they're not that much different from the newest one. Maybe the newest one has the biggest differences, but the older ones like 3rd gen, 2nd gen, they're still pretty good watches, and their price is maybe $100, $200, $300 now. Get it with LT, $400. They're pretty cheap. So if you really want to get it, you want to try it, get it. But the amount of times I've seen people get these watches and then just return it after, me being one of them, not return it, but I literally sold it. I did keep it for like 2 months, and I was like, yeah, this has to go. And I had the all-out one too. I had the stainless steel version with the Milanese loop. Milanese loop is amazing, so if you're getting a watch, get the Milanese loop. It's the best thing ever. But aside from that, I don't know. It was literally just looks, and I was like, this is not going to be too useful for me. I tried so many different applications. The fact that it didn't have a browser frustrated me. There's a loophole where you can get a browser, believe it or not, but there was no browser. On top of that, I had the Moto 360 for a very long time, and it had like Google Now and all that, and all the applications were just as seamless and whatnot, and you could kind of surf the web to an extent. That's like something I want to do on my watch every once in a while, but Apple just doesn't let you do that. You have to go in within their applications, and there's a variety of clients out there for things like Twitter and Reddit and Facebook, but some of them you have to purchase extra, and on top of that, to fully get access to the apps, 90% of the time they make you purchase some 99-cent thing, and I'm like, I'm not gonna buy something just so I could go on Twitter on my watch. Are you kidding me? So you gotta dig for the free things there is. I might do a video on Apple Watch apps. I'm not sure if you guys want that. Go ahead and toss a like on the video, but that's just something that I put on there. But aside from that, that's just my opinion on the Apple Watch. Gave you guys my opinion on boosted boards and drones and Apple Watches and all these other premium tech that I've been playing with recently. But in my opinion, don't get yourself a smartwatch, period, to an extent. I mean, tracking steps is great, but your phone does it. Tracking your physical, if you're a physical fanatic, then get it. Then it's amazing. Get the sport, go all out. This is 100% for you. But if you are any other demographic, if you fall in the category of random college kid, if you fall in the category of random white girl, if you fall in the category of random old dude, I don't care. 99% of the time, the Apple Watch is just something you're tempted to buy. You got into a lot of money, you got that raise, and then you're like, this really wasn't worth it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If so, leave a like and don't forget to subscribe. Once again, everything here is subject to my opinion. I'm not trying to do these as like full-fledged tech reviews. These are just, me playing around with random devices, and then here we are. Thank you guys for watching. This is going to be me logging off.